What's up, Bertini fam? So in today's video, we have a lot of new parts that are going to be going on our Can-Am Outlander 1000r. Now, something I did want to do is figure out a way to mount the PV3 onto the handlebars. So as you know, we went with the Pro Taper handlebar setup, and so we are going to have to remove this pad and kind of customize this a little bit, but I'm going to show y'all in today's video how to do that exactly. Now, the other thing we're going to be installing is this Seco Racing steering brace. So this is something that we're going to be putting on the bike today. This is supposed to strengthen, I should say, the factory steering brace or factory steering column or whatever you call it. This strengthens it. So we might have to drill out these holes, but we'll see when we get there, because as you know, we fabricated up our factory setup a little bit. We modified it a little bit. Now, I did want to add more grip to the factory foot peg setup, if you will. So as you see there, we have these, plastic, whatever, polymer, whatever they are, that Can-Am tried to use here. But we want to add more grip here. And then also I wanted to add passenger like foot peg grip this way when I'm taking my kids on the bike or my wife, right? That they have a place that gives them grip to hold on to here. And that is where the Rox Racing ones come in. So these are really nice pieces. These come from Rox Speed FX. Really nice parts, really quality parts, but these are going to allow us to give our passengers some more grip when they're on the back. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you in today's video how we're going to mount the PV3, the Power Vision 3 from DynoJet onto the handlebars. This way you have all that information and data that this thing gives you. I thought about a few different mounting locations, but the one that I came up with that I liked the best was here on the handlebars. So I'm going to show you on how to do that in today's video. And please don't forget to click that subscribe button. This way you can stay up to date with all of my content and future uploads. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Roll the intro. All right, well, first things first, let's go ahead and get this cover off and then get to the bars. This way we can get the bars off the bike and get the steering stem installed, or I should say steering brace. All right, now there's one step that I'm gonna have to do that you're not gonna have to do at home. So typically you would take the Seco Racing stem brace, if you will, and just pop that in right there, and then you'd be good to go. And like any normal situation, you'd be fine. You just stick the bolts through and you're good to go. Now, in my case scenario, it's not gonna work that way. The reason is, let me go ahead and take this back out real quick. The reason is I modified my holes here to be able to work with the Pro Taper brackets, right? We had to fabricate this piece up. And so in my case, I'm gonna have to modify the holes, let me show you here, these holes on the Seco Racing steering stem brace so that I can still use my mounting brackets like I have been using. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna drill and tap these out, and then we should be able to work with these just fine. Okay, so I just went to Ace Hardware real quick to purchase 4 stainless steel button head bolts. The reason why I went with these and I got these is because these are the ones that originally came with the Pro Taper mounts for the handlebar, but the mounts that we fabricated, of course, but these are too short, right? Now, the one that the Seco Racing comes with, it comes with 2 of these, but I need 4 of them, obviously. It also comes with these bolts, but those seem too long for my project. And so these were the perfect size, but it only came with 2 of these, and I need 4 for my mounts. And so run to Ace Hardware. These were about $2.47, I believe, per bolt. So it's, in the ballpark of like 10 bucks for these bolts or screws or whatever you want to call them. But we needed them in order to mount this back up. So let's go ahead and get that done now. All right, now don't forget, I am going to include everything that I'm using today in the description box below, but I want to show you the setup that I went with here. So this is, I forgot, it's like a K mount or something like that. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box below, but basically it's a GoPro mount that allows you to put this onto a handlebar. Then this piece right here is specifically for the Power Vision 3 from DynoJet. It clips into this piece. And so I've just modified it, if you will, to be able to work on the setup that I'm looking to do. Now, because this is thicker, definitely thicker than your factory bar, but for sure it is a little bit thicker than the current Pro taper bar that I have on here, the Evo bar. I went ahead and chopped up a piece of my rock form plastic mount, if you will. This thing comes, there's like a few of these that come with the rock form mount. I didn't need it, and so I chopped it up a little bit just to be able to get this piece to work with this setup. So just as an FYI, if you guys are using my exact same setup, you're going to need one of these plastic shims. I'm sure Rockform sells these separately, but you are going to need one of these. And then, or of course, get one of these that fit your bar size. Or yeah, once again, just go ahead and order one of these pieces. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get it mounted on the bar and get this all ran and set up. All right, so just to give you all a quick update, we got the bar back on, everything looks good. We got our mount mounted and everything came out really nice. That's basically how it looks like from the side. And then one thing to make sure you don't over tighten this piece, right? So this is on here really tight. This thing ain't going nowhere. I mean, I'm really cranking on it right now. As you guys can see, the whole ATV is moving, but this thing ain't going nowhere. What you're gonna wanna do, obviously, there's a screw right behind here. That's what you can use to tighten this piece down. But of course, make sure before you put all of this in that you're happy where the PV3 is gonna be sitting, that it's not like impeding you from seeing your gauge cluster or anything like that. And then obviously when you run the cabling, you could do it in a way where it's still really nice and clean and doesn't look like all messy or anything like that. Now that we got that all said and done, let's go ahead and mount the Power Vision 3, also known as the PV3, onto its mount and its final resting place. And then we'll go ahead and run the cabling down through here, make sure everything is nice and tidy, and get it plugged in. So I'm gonna show you the final wiring job. I got everything perfectly in place and where I want it now. So basically what I did here was I Dremeled out this piece, right, like I said I was gonna do, so that it could lay perfectly flush down in here. And then I went ahead and drilled a really tiny hole right there to be able to run a really small zip tie through it just to hold this in place, and it gives it just a really nice clean look to it. And then I also did one really small hole right here on the side just to keep the wiring in place here as well. And it's a super small, I mean, you could barely notice. It's even difficult to say, like, you know, that it was even drilled here and that it wasn't here from the factory, which is typically what I like to do. I like that clean and simple look. Now, if you can see here, I ran it down the side of the frame where it's away from any sort of shifter or anything like that. It can't even if it wanted to work its way down, it's not possible to work its way down through this crack down here. So it's in a safe place there. Now, taking you up through here, I ran it this way, back around here, and then down into that cavity down in there. And so that's where the remaining wire, little bit of wire, is going to sit. And then I, of course, zip tied it here so it could all be together. And then, of course, make sure you cut these off flush. Use a snipper that's meant to cutting these off flush. This way they don't cut or mess up any plastics in here. And then I'll go ahead right now and I'm gonna put everything back on and put it in its final resting place. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like when it's on. All right, here is the final setup. Look how nice this looks. So this would be from my sitting angle of what it looks like here. It came out really nice. The wiring, the plastics, just everything. Look at this, look how clean that is. Came out really good. Sometimes when I do something that's super clean, I even impress myself, which is really hard for me to do sometimes. For all these parts, I'm gonna link them in the description box below. This way you won't have to go through the trouble like I did having to locate all of this stuff and try to figure out where you can find this kind of stuff at. So I'll link everything in the description box below. This way you can go ahead yourself and do this mod, of course, if you're interested in doing this mod. Okay, now with the bars out the way, let's go ahead and install the foot peg kit here. And also, I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna do the passenger foot pegs from Rock Speed Effects right over here. Now, both kits are gonna come with the necessary hardware that you're gonna need in order to mount these things up. All right, side number 2 done. Now we got to get on the passenger pegs. All right, so I don't think I'm gonna end up installing these. And now, if you're wondering what is the reason and the logic behind not installing them, given that I was planning on installing them in the first place, is mainly because I just sat my wife on here, I just sat my oldest son on here, and my daughter, and given the location of where it's at, it really didn't, or at least they didn't feel it made a big difference. Now that's not to say that it actually doesn't make a big difference, it's just to say that for them it didn't. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with these. Maybe I might do a giveaway on these because obviously they're universal, they work with any quad, and they're really sweet, you know, products. And so I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with these, but I don't think I'm gonna be mounting them on. Obviously, you guys will find out if I actually do decide to mount these on, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna end up giving them away. Now, there's 2 last really cool products that I wanted to show you, and I wanted to wait to the very end to put this on, and I wanna do this before I take the bike out for a ride, and that is badging the bike. So we have not yet named my bike, and so I wanna name the bike. And I already came up with a name that I really like and really fits my kind of personality. And so the name of the bike is El TACO Loco.
Yes, it's true. I am Nacho, the luchador.
Who?
Maybe you have seen me on TV.
Nacho!
Now, these were custom made. I will put a link in the description to the person's Etsy store who made me these. These literally feel just like the BRP ones, and I thought it would add some nice uniqueness to the bike. I also had a key tag made up as well with El TACO Loco on it, and this will go on my key fob. I like it. I love pink. For those of you guys who don't know, pink is my shit. Anyways, let's go ahead and get the front badge off, the rear badge off, and go ahead and get these nice new custom ones on. So it's pretty simple to remove. Now we'll just remove all of this glue, residue, and tape off of it, and then we'll get the new one on. Okay, so we got the glue residue removed. Now we're gonna go ahead and apply this onto the bike. Now, very important, if you don't know anything about placing on stickers, I'm gonna heat up the backing of this so that it sticks on really good to the surface and it mates very well. So first one, let's go ahead and pull this off here. And we are gonna heat this up a little bit, just enough to get the glue nice and warm. And then just apply pressure equally around the whole badge, and then you're good to go. It came out really, really nice. Really like the way it looks. And like I said, now the bike is officially El TACO Loco. All right, let's go ahead and do the back. All right, well, the bike is officially badged El TACO Loco. I'm super happy with the way that it came out. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the description box below where you can purchase this from if you are interested in getting these custom made badges. By the way, for those of you guys who do not know this, but this was the original logo for the company, the brand, I believe it's Bombardier. This was their original logo, what they had, and then I think it was here, it said Bombardier, and instead I changed it to El TACO Loco. And like I said, that front came out really nice looking too. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this bike out and take it out for a test ride. So as you can see, now I have everything set up here, so it looks really good. This is my view from the top, so I can still see everything perfectly clear. I can see my normal dash perfectly clear, and then of course I could see this. I'm probably going to give this a little bit more brightness though. The brightness is down right now, but I am going to increase the brightness just so I can see it a little bit better. But clearly, as you can see, I have a few things already set up here, which I think are pretty important. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have experience with, ooh, that's a nice house they're building up there. Sorry, I got distracted. Anyways, back to this. So I set it up with voltage. I forgot what the ECT was that I put on here. And then charge temp, and then the pedal position. Now the pedal position, as you can see, that's basically this. In this case scenario, this is what I'm using. Anyways, I just wanted to quickly show you guys this. I hope you guys have enjoyed all of this footage. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Do me a big favor, if you have, go ahead and smash that like button, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet already done so. With that being said, make sure y'all are putting good energy out there into the world and you're paying it forward. I'll check y'all out later. Bye now.